What is up, everybody? You're listening to an all-new episode of the Kristen Gray Snow Show. It's a podcast from Hurrdat Media. I'm your host, Kristen Gray Snow, and happy Friday! Today we're going to be covering a ton, but you won't find me talking shit on Michael Darby because your girl can't afford a lawsuit. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm referring to, the Michael Darby versus Candace Dillard Bassett lawsuit, which we're going to get into lately. Let's make like two housewives at a sit-down dinner scene, and let's let the shit-talking commence. Alright, we're going to kickstart things with the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. We saw part 2 on Sunday night, and unfortunately, my girl Karen is still asleep at the wheel. You know, it's like, Eartha Karen, wake up. You know, it's like Vicky snoring whenever, like, Heather and Gretchen would, like, tell stories, like, an Alexis. That is, like, what Karen is doing right now. It's like everyone's just making her go to sleep. She needs to come alive. And also, one reason that this kind of bothers me, and not even bothers as much as, like, concerns / worries me, is that, you know, we're 7 seasons in and we still have 4 OGs standing, which is an amazing thing. And, you know, but a lot of people are screaming that, you know, the OGs still sitting on the stage need to be bringing it. Like, we need to switch, or maybe we need to switch things up. Like, there needs to be, you know, a change in energy. And so for me, who's always loved Karen, watching her sit up there and essentially do next to nothing is quite worrisome. Because I'm like, you know what? We all know by now that the reunions can be very telling what your future may or may not look like as a cast member on one of these shows. And so for Karen to just kind of be, in my opinion, letting the reunion pass her by, I'm concerned, you know, and I'm also concerned that why does she feel this way? Does she feel this way because of her status on the show? Like, so she feels like she's a long-running OG, so she doesn't necessarily have to bring it. I don't know what it is, but yeah. I don't know. I'm a little worried about Karen. I'm wanting her to come alive in this last part. The first seats, as we saw, you know, last week, were Giselle and Karen. And, you know, I think as the method of waking up the OGs, kind of as a note of what I was just saying, you know, that there are 4 up there that have been up there for quite some time, and to not let them get too comfortable, I think that the first seats should have gone to Candace and Wendy, because they are easily the MVPs of the reunion this season. They've clocked in at a level that others wish that they were. And I also think that walking out and the OGs seeing that there weren't any, you know, OGs sitting in those first 2 seats, they would have immediately perked up and been like, okay, we got to fucking bring it. You know what I mean? And also Wendy, speaking of Wendy being one of the MVPs, she had this one line at the reunion that made me squeal. She said, when talking about the women, she's like, it's almost like the women on the show are surprised when men show them basic decency and respect. Boom, baby. Now that is a right there. Because obviously she's alluding to, you know, the Happy Eddie accusations, and, you know, that the Sesame Street character person threw out at Eddie and Chris. And so she's just like, you know, men can't even be decent to some of y'all because y'all run with it and make it into something that it's not. So, and also maybe that is because y'all never had a man actually try to be decent to you. So it was like, clocked, bloop, bloop, bloop. There you go. I don't know. I just thought that, you know, baby, that was a word. And, you know, I thought that Eddie, our very lovely, happy Eddie, was off somewhere smiling because he knows that he has respect for his woman, and his woman knows that he has respect for her. They know each other, that the other has respect for each other, and they have each other's back. Love that, and ain't nothing shaking them. And that's why she's like, you know what? Keep doing y'all's clown ass shit because you ain't shaking my house over here, okay? I also wanted to talk about Jacqueline and Mia because, you know, we're seeing that, obviously, like they said, they haven't seen or spoken to each other since the season wrapped, which is crazy because they clearly seem to have a relationship prior to this where they were seeing each other like every day or something. And I have to be honest, originally at the beginning of the season, I wasn't all that interested in this storyline. Like, I didn't really care about, like, the strained friendship, like all this history that we don't know about, you know, type of thing. I feel like there's such like a strong like family vibe over on Jersey, and has been for years, that I'm like, oh, you know, and even like in Beverly Hills now, I'm like, let's just keep it to the friends. And like, not, you know, listen, Jacqueline and Mia aren't actually sisters, but they have like a sibling rivalry. I mean, like, you know, Jacqueline's, you know, mom and family took Mia in at times when she was younger, and they have like a sibling family like relationship. And again, so at first I was hesitant about it. However, I'm here to say that I have changed my mind, because after watching the, you know, little back and forth of them, and like we've seen the first 6 minutes of next week's episode, I don't know. I'm kind of just here to like see all this play out. Like, are they going to eventually bring the family in and let them start talking, and then Mia's going to have to defend herself there? Like, I don't think Mia ever really saw this catching up with her. I'm not saying that I think Mia's like necessarily lied or like done a lot of bad shit, but I think that she maybe has, you know, not been as, you know, aware at times that what she is saying and doing about people on or off the show could eventually come back to check her. So we will see. Alright, we're going to pick up now with this week's Real Housewives of New Jersey. The episode started with the men getting home drunk from last week's little outing. And listen, like, it was a cute little bit, you know, to start the episode off with them getting home all sloppy and blah, blah, blah. It was cute. But listen, again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've said it time and time and time again. I don't want to see men anywhere other than in my bedroom, okay? I don't watch TV to see men. Okay, and I certainly don't watch TV to see drunk men. Okay, if I wanted to do that, I would watch sports or ESPN or something, you know, something that's not Real Housewives. You know, I would watch Vanderpump Rules if I wanted to watch a bunch of straight boys, but I don't want that in my life. I want women and their friendships and their dynamics and their struggles and their triumphs. That's what I want in my life. I don't give a fuck about boys' night. Okay? So, I don't. The one positive takeaway from this, though, is that the only scene we saw, basically, like, solo scene of Jackie, or, like, in Jackie's house, was whenever Evan came home, and it was Jackie shooting it on her iPhone. And you know what? Me being the petty fucking Patricia that I will be till the day I die, I have to laugh. Something else we saw this week, really quickly, were the never-before-seen moments from last week. So, you know, usually, like, right before the new episodes aired, they'll air last week's episode, including scenes that haven't been aired yet. And there was, you know, this conversation that we saw between Teresa, Gia, and Gabriella about Melissa and Joe. And, you know, the comments that they had made about putting food on the table while Teresa was in prison, because they basically said that Joe needed money so bad that they had to hop in and film this show with him so he could have money. You know, like, they honest to God, I tweeted this, they act like they fucking paid Teresa's restitution and sucked the warden's cock to get her out of jail early. That's what the fuck they act like. You drove 10 minutes down the road and filmed for a fucking hour and got paid probably $50,000 for it. Kiss my actual ass, okay? Anyway, so we get a more detailed conversation and a look into why those comments from Joe and Melissa, you know, are not accurate in the eyes of the Giudice girls, and also why they feel personally attacked by the comments. Take a listen here.
It's just...
We would remember the people that
you remember, and, like, credit shouldn't be given where it's not earned, I feel. And also, rest in peace, but do Nana and Nana or, like, Dad's family, like, flaunt that they were there for us? They don't.
If you were genuinely there for someone, it should just feel good. It should just feel good in your heart.
It was the last impression of you guys as
you don't need to voice something. And maybe, I don't even know, Gabrielle, maybe if she did one thing, I don't know, I don't even remember.
I don't remember, but the fact is I don't remember.
Exactly, yeah.
I just find that so offensive on so many levels because it's completely false.
Like, no matter what, Dad's side of the family, they were there for us with every little thing. It didn't matter. Say Dad's side of the family say they really didn't like you. That would never stop them from coming to the house and being there for us. Like, Dad wouldn't lie to you either. Like, if your brother was really showing effort, Dad would be like, Tree, I mean, your brother really has been really good to the girls. Like, he's been really nice.
No, but they couldn't stand Daddy at the time.
It doesn't, but also it doesn't matter.
I could blame it on that, like, they hated my father, but it's like, No. Like, your sister's still in jail.
It doesn't matter who they have problems with, who they don't get along with. Come to the house, pick up the girls.
They hated your dad, right? So now this is the second chance to, like, start over. I'm just tired of the lies. It's just so hurtful. That directly affects me. Directly. So it's something I take to heart.
So why in God's name was this not shown last week? Everybody, why was this not shown last week? Because, like, look, it doesn't necessarily change the takeaway we have from what we saw last week, but it certainly deepens. It adds depth to what we knew, to what we were thinking, right? And I just, it is just absolutely insane. Yeah, I don't know. And then Gabriella is clearly just not with the Gorga shit anymore, and rightfully so. And speaking of the Gorgas, Joe, little bitch, chooses to not go to Teresa's housewarming party, which is like, listen. How are you gonna sit up here and subject these beautiful ears that God gave me and everybody else in the world, and these wonderful eyes that God gave me and everybody else in the world, and subject us to you whining and complaining 24 fucking goddamn 7 about how your sister doesn't include you in anything, your sister doesn't treat you right, you feel erased from her life, you're nothing to her, and then you receive an invite and you don't go. Again, you didn't go to her birthday party, and now you're not going to her housewarming party. All because you say the efforts are bullshit, all while you're complaining that she's not doing enough. If all the efforts are bullshit, then tell her to stop making efforts. Stop making it seem like the door is open if you're just going to shut the door in her face every time she makes an attempt. Because what is the fucking point, Yolanda? What is happening? So, they complain constantly, it seems. Like I said, that they're not included, that they feel like they deserve a bigger spot, like, in her life, that they want a more active role in her life, in her children's lives. That's what they make it seem like. And how could you, that, our mom and dad would hate this. And then Teresa invites them, and he can't even fucking suck it up and go. But you send Melissa? I'd almost rather neither one of you go than fucking send Melissa by herself. That, in my opinion, especially for this awkward-ass little conversation that Melissa tried to have with the girls. And Gabriella's sitting there looking her up and down like, women. That's exactly what Gabriella pulled America last week, and she said, women, okay? Because she said, I am over this bullshit. And by women, I'm also including Joe Gorga in that group. Joe and Melissa are both the women that I'm talking about, okay? So she doesn't go, he doesn't go. There's this awkward conversation, and it's just, in the words of Leanne Locken, I'm exhausted. My weave is exhausted. My panty liner is exhausted. Like, it's just, I don't know how much more of this that we can fucking take. And again, it's just, I feel like, as a viewer, I feel like I'm hammering my head into the wall, because you're watching Joe want something, and then when it's presented to him, he refuses it. So as a viewer, it's like, where do we get our resolution? Because it's conflict on both ends of the story. Where do we go from here? And I'm exhausted. Again, I'm exhausted by it. So, I always say it, Jersey will be the death of me. Alright, I can't remember if we got to talk about this last week when I had my bestie Maggie on. So just in case, I'm going to hit on it again this week. I do think the trailer dropped after we'd already recorded last week, though. Pretty sure. So, we finally have a Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Thailand premiere date. It is coming to Peacock, only on Peacock, March 23rd, and it stars Portia Williams, Leah McSweeney, Candace Dillard-Bassett, Heather Gay, Whitney Rose, Giselle Bryant, Alexia Napola, and Marisol Patton. And if you've already followed me on IG for the last year, and I say year because this shit was shot in like July, like it's literally been like 9 months ago that the cast was revealed and they were out, in production, and we saw them all posting pictures and shit together. And I was not, I was definitely not that excited about the cast at first. I gave, them a hard time. I definitely gave a couple shady opinions. But I will always I will always own it. I'm sorry. And I'm saying that because, well, also, I do want to say why I think I felt that way. I think I felt that way because we were coming off the heels of Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2 that had, Vicky, and it had Tamra, and it had Taylor, and it had Brandy and Phaedra, and so it just had all these fucking, icons, and so when I originally saw the cast for Season 3, I was like, what? Yeah, but I will say this. I have seen the first 3 episodes of Season 3 of Ultimate Girls Trip, and they are surprisingly... My expectations last year when the cast was announced, the episodes, way up here, you can't see them, really, really, really good. I liked them. I was laughing out loud. I feel like we get to know these women on a much deeper level, and I say that for some in a good way and some not in a good way. We see some sides of these, and I'm like, excuse me? She did what? She said what? Anyway, so, but yeah, Thailand's beautiful. The backdrop of Thailand is beautiful. The guy in the house who is he's like the person that's making sure that all the girls have everything they need and helping them get ready for their excursions and stuff. His name is Pepsi. He's like the house manager. He's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I've only seen, again, only 3 episodes. I don't know how many episodes there are going to be. But, yeah, the banter between Pepsi and the women are great. Just all the women are great. I really, really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see the rest. So yeah, make sure, it is already March, so it comes out March 23rd. If you don't have your Peacock membership, make sure y'all go ahead and go get you one, because in 3 weeks it's going to be coming out, and it's all everyone's going to be talking about, and you don't want to be left out, because then what are you going to do, right? All right, us Housewives fans, let me tell you what. We've been in the courthouse in 2023, okay? Because, even if you, remotely were interested in, the reality TV, world of court cases, we had the Chrisleys going to jail earlier this year. We had Jen Shaw going to jail earlier this year. Alex Murdaugh, his murderous ass just got convicted right before I hopped on here. And now Michael Darby is suing, taking Candace to the courthouse, and Drew and Ralph Pittman, Drew Sidora down in Atlanta, had a full fucking race to the courthouse this week. So, we're going to get into it. First up, First up, not Peter, honey. Michael Darby is suing Candace, okay? He is suing Candace because he says that Candace caused him some lost funds because of what she claimed, the fellatio she claimed that he was having, right? So TMZ, this is what TMZ says. According to legal docs obtained by TMZ, Ashley Darby's husband is suing Candace over comments she made on last season's reality series where she didn't hold back during one of her big arguments with Ashley. Your husband likes to leave you and go to a man named house and suck his dick. She never said who the guy is, but yeah, he said that he sent her a cease and desist earlier this year, in the words of Tamra, assist and deceased, if you know, you know, but apparently she never retracted any of her statements, and he wants $2 million in damages. What blowjob accusation is worth $2 million? I mean, my God. And also, what business are you losing for allegedly getting your dick sucked? That's homophobic, so you don't need those clients anyway. So, Team Candace, and we're going to go set up a GoFundMe, and we're going to stream all of Candace's music, and we're going to buy Candace's merch, and we're going to buy Candace's tickets so she can fucking pay to defeat this motherfucker, okay? So, also, Michael, don't you have, a retirement home to go pick out for the next few years? You got a lot of audacity to be going to the courthouse over Candace right now. Find something fucking else to do, okay? And then back to Atlanta. Ralph Pittman, Drew Sidora filed for divorce this week. It came out first originally that Ralph had filed for divorce from Drew, right? So we were all like, what the fuck? And then it comes out, turns out they were in a full out mad dash to see who could get the divorce first. And it was Drew that got the divorce filed first, okay? So it's obviously going to be really, really, really messy. And like, look, we were making jokes about it all at first yesterday. Like, obviously, you know me, I was posting silly stuff, but it later was also revealed that Drew, in the divorce document, she accused Ralph of being a serial cheater, and she also accused him of blatant, as TMZ says, continued blatant disrespect and mental abuse. So she's claiming that he's been abusive mentally, he's messed with her finances, and he's been unfaithful. So it is going to be messy. I obviously am not a legal person. I don't really know the significance into who files first, unless it's just really a message to the court and the potential judge that will maybe eventually be helping split assets that she wanted it. I don't know what the significance of that is. However, Drew is like I said, Drew is alleging that Ralph withdrew a very large sum of money from her account, that they tried counseling and then it didn't work, and she beat him to the courthouse by a motherfucking hour. Don't ever let anybody tell you that an hour of life is not significant, because in that hour you could file for divorce and outbeat your piece of shit, cheating, abusive, money stealing, Tampa throttling around husband. Okay? So, it is a goddamn shame that fucking Ralph is as fine as he is. It's a shame, because he sucks. That's all. All right. I also wanted to send you all into the weekend with a little bit of an assignment, advice. If you need something to do this weekend, I posted about this on Instagram, but I recently discovered Tubi. Tubi. It's literally a free app. I think you can also stream it free in your web browser. But I have it over here on my Roku TV. Just added the little app. I don't even think I had to make an account. Buckle up, bitches. Real Housewives of Sydney. It's on there. Real Housewives of Vancouver. It's on there. Real Housewives of Melbourne. It's on there. Other Real Housewives international franchises. They're on there. Okay? So if you need something to do this weekend, might I suggest Real Housewives of Sydney Season 1. I'm probably going to have to do an episode just recapping the whole season later. But they only had one season, probably because of how fucking chaotic it is. These women are fucking ruthless. They call each other sluts and ugly and dumb and idiot and wow. I mean, it is fucking wild. We got one that has a goddamn snake around her neck. We got one that says that her and God have a direct channel of communication. Athena X. The cast, a cast is Athena X, Christy Marsh, Nicole O'Neill, Lisa Oldfield, Victoria Reese, Maddie Samai, and Melissa. I don't know how you say Melissa's last name. But anyway, just listen to the taglines alone, okay?
My lips may be fake, but they always speak the truth.
Beauty queens can more than handle drama queens.
My point of view isn't the only one, but it's clearly the best.
Brains and beauty are my weapons of choice.
The hardest role I've ever played is just being me.
The Athena X of today took lifetimes to create. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you get onto someone else's.
I mean, it just gives, it's giving HBIC. It's giving head bitches in charge, even though we know they got canceled after one season. But that's kind of also the good thing. You just need a fun weekend thing to watch. Bloop. Here you go. So don't say I never gave y'all anything. I just gave y'all that tad little bit of advice. Tubi. T-T-U-B-I. T as in Terry DeBro. U. B as in bitch. I. Tubi. Real Housewives of Sydney. Watch it. Laugh your ass off. Don't leave the couch. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one. As always, thank you for spending your week or kicking off your weekend with me, spending your Friday with me. I hope that you will join me right back here next week too. I do have some fun personal news that I get to announce soon. So maybe by the time this is airing, I'll be announcing it, or maybe next week I'll announce it. We'll see. So as always, thank y'all so much for listening. Love, love, love y'all. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Do something fun. Do something that makes you happy. Go be with your family. Go be with your doggies. You know, life is short. Go do something fun. Or just go be a crazy slut pig. That can be fun too. All right. Bye. Besos.